Oh, hey, Brenda, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, Libby?
You ready to do episode 1 here?
Yeah, I'm ready. I am ready. It is
Yeah.
time, girl.
No, it's hard to figure out how to get things started, but I'm excited to introduce this podcast to you all. My name is Libby Lawaji, and I am, for better or for worse, the initiator of the blue bracelet movement that happened on TikTok. That was an interesting series of events that sort of led from that moment to this moment. And I'll recap you quick if you aren't familiar. But basically, after the election, I made a more of a frustrated joke on TikTok that a lot of people took really seriously. And there was a big spark, a big chain of discourse that happened that made its way into some news articles outside of TikTok. It was a big thing in the moment, and there was a lot of mixed feedback. Some people were excited about the idea of these blue bracelets sort of being a symbol of unity and just showing people where you stood after the election. And some people were taken aback by it and said that maybe it wasn't the best idea, that sometimes these things are more performative and there needs to be more action. And so I absorbed all of that, and I was very open to feedback and people who reached out to me. One of the people who reached out to me is my new friend Brenda here. And she was one of the people who was like, I like this idea of unity. I'm inspired to do something more. Sorry to like put words in your mouth. I'll toss it over to you to explain your own side of it here in a second. But just to recap for everyone tuning in. And so we came together and she decided to sell these bracelets, and then we were like, what can we do beyond the bracelets? We can start a podcast, we can talk, we're both good at talking. And so that is sort of what led to this moment and the creation of this podcast that we're calling Kitchen Table Talk, because we want to get back to having conversations, and the most interesting kinds of conversations seem to happen at the kitchen table. And I'm rambling too much. I'm going to toss it to Brenda now. Brenda, get us up to speed with what brought you here to your kitchen in your house with me now.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Libby. I'm so excited about being here with you. I really am. And I hope that so many people get a chance to come in and join us and have conversations with us at the kitchen table. When I saw your video, months ago now, it's been like a couple
Yeah,
months ago. I just
yeah,
have to reach out to you and say, hey, look, I knew you were out there, but I didn't know, if that makes sense.
yeah.
I just was like, so thank you so much. It was so brave of you to do that. I was like, I have to reach out to this brave woman who put it out there and say, hey, look, I want to move forward with you. I'm not against you, And at that time, I really needed to hear that. I think so many people did. And so I just couldn't resist. So after we talked, we were like, Libby and I were kind of going back and forth, like, what can we do? To really kind of reach out to more women. We want to come together. We want to find out what we have in common. Let's talk about our differences. And more than anything, what can we do within the next 2 years to actually, you know, make some changes and be ready
Yeah,
for this election? You know what I'm saying?
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
what
We
can
got to
we do?
start now.
So,
It's going to be on our
yeah.
doorstep.
That's right. It is. It's been a lot going on. You already know. And we just have to get ready and prepare. But in the midst of it all, we want to get to know each other, and that's what this podcast is going to be all about. I want to have a lot of fun with this, Libby. I want to get to know so much
Me too.
about you and other women, before, as that I'm a writer. I am a film producer. I'm a business owner. I love businesses, creating businesses and just really taking them to the next level. But more than anything, I am an advocate for women's rights. And so I really I go all in when it comes to that. And I like to
Yeah.
team up with other women to make some magical things happen. So that's what
Yes.
this podcast is going to be about. You want to tell them about the fun that we're going to have at the kitchen table with these
Yeah,
cards?
I feel like this is half podcast, half game show. We got some fun segments planned. Now we're at the kitchen table. We're having conversations. But what else do you do at the kitchen table? you play cards, you play games, right? So we have sort of structured this meal, this delicious meal of facts and fun and laughter. So we have 3 stacks of cards, each of us, and we've exchanged questions. So I have questions from me and women who look like me to Brenda, and Black women like Brenda. So just sort of these cross racial questions that maybe are fun or light. That's sort of going to be our appetizer pile. And then we're going to dig into some of the meatier stuff, some stuff that maybe is messy, but we want to get to the meat of these conversations so that we can figure out what we have in common to move forward together. So that's sort of the main course pile. And then we got to end with dessert. Dessert's fun. Dessert can be a little juicy, a little, exciting. So that is our meal. We're each gonna draw a card. We're gonna close our eyes, pick a card, and answer the question. And then we're gonna take turns, course by course, until we get through. And then we have an exciting bit for the end, which we'll get to, that dives into stuff that's happening right now, current events, current pop culture, current social media buzz. You'll get the buzz later.
Yeah, I'm ready,
So
Libby.
we're going to
I'm
start with
ready.
you, Brenda. You're going to do your question first for the appetizer, and then we'll go back to me. So I think that's
Okay.
how we'll
So I
start things
have
off
like 3
today. I'm
decks in front
excited.
of
Are
me.
you excited?
I'm going to start with my little appetizer deck here, okay? Now, I got to close
Okay.
my eyes, Libby, and pick a
Don't
card.
look. Don't peek. Don't cheat.
I'm not going to look. I promise you I won't cheat, okay? I won't cheat. I just hope I get a good card. Okay, here we
They're all
go.
good.
Here it goes. I'm mixing them up so I don't know. Okay. All righty, let's see. Bam! Okay,
Hard
so
one pick. I'm so excited.
here's my first question. Oh my God, did you ask me this one or did somebody else? I gotta know. So, what
I
is
think
your
these are all
favorite?
from me.
They're all from you. Okay, I thought you were gonna add some of your friends, girlfriends, and stuff to
I
weigh
had too
in.
many things I want to know about you.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, here's a good one. This is a good one. This is easy. So, what is your favorite thing about being a Black woman? Okay. Oh my God. Libby, I have so many favorite things about being a Black woman. I really
I
do.
would imagine.
But when I think about this question, let me see. I think for me, I think it is our strength. Okay. It is our strength. It is my strength. I've been
Yeah.
to hell and back. I
Yeah.
really have. And anybody who knows me, who knows my story, they know that I've been through a lot. And every time I fall, I've been able to get back up. I just, I cry, I wipe my eyes, and it's that strength that I don't know where it. I'm gonna say, yeah, I do know where it comes from. It's God. It's God. But it's just something about this that happens over and over and over again that I feel
Yeah.
like it happens more to Black women. I do. I got to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
But I am just able to just pick myself up and say, go. Just keep going. And
Yeah.
like I said, I know it's God, but it's just I don't want this to, because some people see that as a negative, Libby. They do. Even some Black women say, I'm tired of being strong.
Yeah.
I'm tired of people thinking that I'm strong, but to me, it's who we are. And
Yeah.
you can just kind of throw any situation at us, a lot of us, and I'm telling you, we're gonna we're gonna go through the fire
Yeah.
and we're going to get out of it. And that's what I know about myself. And that's what I love so much about being a Black woman, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Totally.
Yeah,
Like a forced resilience almost,
yeah,
because you just
yeah.
have to keep going.
You just have to keep going. No matter what, you just have to keep going. And that is something I say it to people all the time. My
Yeah.
sisters who go through a lot, I say it to them. It's like, hey, we've been here before. And guess
Yeah.
what? When it happened, when something happened, 10 years ago, you didn't think you could make it, but here you are. You're still
Yeah.
standing. Yeah. So that's
I
my
love that.
answer to that. Yeah.
That's a perfect answer. That's a
Yeah.
perfect answer, and it's that strength that exists with you and within Black women is not lost on me. It's something that I see and I witness and I just admire so frequently. So I think your answer was perfect, and I'm glad you understand the strength within yourself because that's
Yeah.
apparent to other people for sure.
Yeah. And when I say that some people do see that as a negative, it happens. I think a guy was just underneath one of my posts on TikTok and he was like, "What are you talking about? You Black women, you all are strong. Go ahead. You got it. You can do it. What do you need us for?" It's not saying that you don't need other people. Of
Right.
course you do. You would love to have people,
Yeah,
together. When we're together, we are definitely more powerful together.
for sure.
Um, but it's just that thing of just knowing that, hey, look, if I gotta go at it by myself, I'm gonna do it,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna get it done. It's that confidence. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
Totally. I love it. That was a perfect way to kick things off, I think. All right, so up to me now and my cards.
Okay, Libby, go ahead.
All
Go ahead.
right,
I'm
so I
ready
got my
for it.
cards, and these are questions from you. And who else did you get questions from then?
I asked my daughters. I asked a couple of my girlfriends, so it's kind of a mixture of us in there. Okay, Libby.
All right, I'm excited to find my question and then who asked it. So I'm going to go with this one. Rate marriage on a scale from 1 to 10 and elaborate. I like this one. Who's that question from? Is that from you?
I'm not gonna tell you.
So I would say I'm very fortunate in marriage and love. I've been married once to my husband, and we've been married. Ooh, this is going to catch me off guard. We're coming up on 9 years this year. And we just, he's great. And I love being married to him. And I'm so happy every day that we are married. I would rate marriage an 8 out of 10. I love it. I love love. I think I only hedge because I recognize that it's not for everybody. And it's not a necessity, I would say, to a long-term functioning, healthy relationship. I absolutely think that it's person by person, but in my experience, in my relationship, and what I want from my life, I'm so happy to be married, and I hope to stay that way for forever, for as long as it takes, right? But
Yeah.
it's at the same time, it's like I won't paint it all as roses and puppy dogs and rainbows because it is very much something that's hard, and you have to work at it and choose and evaluate if you still want to be married to that person continuing in the future. I would not ever recommend to somebody that once you're married you absolutely have to stay married, because people can change, or you can certainly learn things about each other that maybe you didn't know before, that would change how you feel about them, would change whether you're in love with them or not. And so there is a point where it's smart to walk away from marriage.
Yeah.
And so, again, that's why I put that 8 out of 10 instead of 9 or 10 out of 10, because there is that room for maybe marriage isn't the right thing to do. It's not the best option for somebody or for whatever reason, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
So,
think that's great, Libby. I think one of the important things that you really said was it's just not for everybody. We
yeah,
have to realize that it's just not for everybody. It's not. It
yeah,
takes a certain level of of people
yeah,
or understanding of your significant other or the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. I
yeah,
mean, you got to be on the same page with this stuff. And if you're not, you just never find that. I mean, kudos to you.
yeah, yeah,
I've never said to anybody, hey, it's something you must do. You
yeah.
know, never put that on my kids. No, never, ever, ever.
No.
So I think that's just really important what you said. I like that you rated it an 8 too. Where's your husband at?
He's off at work. But I think he likes being married. So we're fortunate again, he grew up with married parents and my
Yeah,
parents are still married. So I think that was something that we identified as important to each other, which is why we were able to be on the same page about it. But it is so important to cover those things. And I say too often people want to have a wedding and they don't actually want
ah,
to be married.
yeah.
And so it becomes all about we want to get married, but no, you just want to have a big
You just
party
want to
and
have a
you
wedding.
haven't thought beyond that day.
Yeah. Did you all
And
have a
so
big wedding, Libby?
we had a fairly large wedding. It was in downtown St. Paul. I think we had a little over 300 people there.
Yeah,
It was a
that was a
blast.
big
It was a heck
wedding.
of a party. Yeah. Good times were had by all and then some.
Yeah,
But and I guess one more tangent before I toss it back to you for main course question. But I would emphasize too that I don't think marriage is necessarily a must-have if kids are involved either. I think you can
yeah,
obviously display a healthy marriage or a healthy relationship that is without being married. And it's
yeah.
more important to focus on the health of the relationship
Oh my
when
God.
you're being an example to children than just the act of staying married. If it's not a healthy environment and it's a toxic relationship, that is not a good example to be setting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the
um,
things I'll just add this. It's one of those things where, and Aaron and I talk about this all the time. We just celebrated our 28 years. Yeah, yeah, girl. But we talk about this. When he proposed to me, Libby, I didn't want to get married. I didn't.
yeah,
I just, at that time, I did not want to get married. But we had a son, and I was thinking, well, we might as well go ahead and do it.
yeah,
So yeah, it's just that, the way you think about those types of things, and we talk about it all the time. He said, well, I'm glad you decided to. I'm glad you really did. I mean, I'm glad I
glad you
did
said
too.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. And that wedding stuff, girl,
Did you have
Libby,
a big wedding?
no, not at all. We went to the courthouse. We went to the courthouse. I was not going to waste a lot of money, and at that
Yeah,
time we didn't really have the money.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we went
So
to
it
the
was more
courthouse.
important to you to be married than to have the wedding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Makes
so
total
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
I love it. That was a
Yeah.
perfect appetizer.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Mwah.
We're off to a good start, I think.
Yes, we
All
are,
right.
baby. Okay, all right. So I got my main course.
Main course.
All
Now
right,
these
it's
are
going
going to
to get a
be
little deep. It's going to
a
get
little
deep now, right?
deeper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, I gotta switch these up, Libby. Let me see. All right, I'm not
No
looking.
cheating.
I promise you, I'm not peeking. Okay, let me go on this side. All right. Okay. So, what does being an ally mean to you? Ah,
I want to know the answer to this one.
yeah, I know
I
you want
should
to
be
know the
writing some
answer to
notes
this
down, I
one.
think.
Oh my God. Let's see. Where do I begin with this one, Libby? For me, being an ally starts with having my back. Okay. That's where it's going to start for me, is that you
Yeah.
really have to have my back. When we're going through all of these challenges and everything, you just can't be in and then get out. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You
Yeah.
gotta, stick with me through the tough times, through whatever we're going through. Be prepared to go all in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for in an ally. And I think, as even like the blue bracelet movement, it was one of those things. And I don't know if you noticed this too. Okay. But I noticed this, is that when you first talked about it, Libby, everybody was, oh my God, everybody was on board. Okay. How many was it? How many comments did you? It was millions.
Thousands. It got
Yes.
4.5 million views, thousands of comments. At a certain point, I was like, this is too much information.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But then what happened is, okay, when the attacks started coming, people started shying away from it. You
Yeah.
know, they got real quiet,
Yeah. Or
and
defensive.
then, yeah. And then by the time we set up the call, the Zoom call,
Yeah.
It was like everybody had kind of just threw their hands up in the air like,
Yeah.
I just don't want any part of this. So the ally has to stick with me and
Yeah.
stay with me, you know. And I think we're always going to have other people voicing their opinions about things, but we cannot be deterred. We just have to stay the course, you know. We have
Right.
to just keep up the fight. And so that's what I'm looking for. I know I can get that with you. I already know your character, and I love it. I really do. I wish there were just so many more women like you. But I know, but I see this happen so much. I see it happen so much, and it's not a race thing either. It's because I've seen some black women who say, "Hey, she's on her own with this." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, go girl. Good luck if you make any progress with it. Hey, holler at me. Let me know. You know,
Right. Yeah.
I'll wrap this up. I'll wrap this up. And I can't remember her name, and I shame on me. I don't know if it's Alicia or whatever, the young lady who started the Black Project 2025 movement. Have you seen
Oh,
all that
yeah.
on TikTok?
No, I need to look into that.
Yeah, she started the Black Project 2025,
Okay.
and it
Yeah, I gotta look into that.
yeah, she raised almost $100,000 from this movement. And then I
Wow.
started seeing videos where people are just dogging her, talking
Yeah.
bad about the movement. She actually had to take a break because it was so much, you know, that she did, and
Yeah.
she has work to do. You know, she's really
Yeah.
trying, and I feel really bad for her. I
Yeah.
reached out to her, you know, a while back to see if there's anything that I could do to help, but
Yeah.
I know what comes with that. I know
Yeah.
what comes with pretending that, hey, you know, we got your back. Let's go, let's go. And then when it gets rough, bye bye, bye bye. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Fair weather friends, fair weather
yeah,
allies.
yeah, yep.
Totally.
So,
Perfect.
yep.
All right. I am excited. I don't know how I'm gonna follow that up. That was excellent. All right. So we got my main course. We're gonna shuffle shuffle. I'm not looking. Ooh, I'm nervous. Why am I nervous?
Why you nervous? Okay, I've told you we were nice, Libby. We were nice.
Oh my
I
God.
think.
What does it mean to be an ally?
Oh, you
We
got
got the
that
same question.
too.
This is
Okay.
actually perfect because we can just sort of continue the conversation and piggyback, and
Yeah,
I can sort of. Um, but I'm really happy that you went first so I could sort of listen and absorb what you said
yeah,
because I think part of my answer is that what I've found to be requested of allies is a lot more listening than I think what we as white women in particular tend to do. You know, pe- I think allyship is attractive, like a shiny new toy at first, especially when there's accessories involved, like a blue
right.
bracelet. But then, as you said, people shy away when feedback hits because they're like, oh, well,
Mhm.
maybe, I second guess everything, I can't do it. And so it's listening to that feedback and saying, this isn't about me in particular, it's about the broader group of people who look like me and what we have historically done. And so how do I take constructive criticism to show we can be better, we can be different, we can be more? And a lot of that starts with the listening part of it. So I've tried to do that by, after the blue bracelet thing, absorb the feedback and I didn't respond to any stitches that were negative. I didn't try to get defensive in any way. I recognize that it probably was a stupid thing to say off the cuff, but I will never say that I regret it because it has led to this. And
Yeah,
I do think a lot of good can come from it if I don't shy away from it. If I can maybe find a way to have it be more than a bracelet, the bracelet, and how can I, in action, be an ally based on this feedback that I have received?
yeah,
And so, everything from finding Black voices, seeking those out, or, gay, lesbian, and any sort of marginalized community that's being impacted in that moment, listen to what they're saying they need, and then help amplify that to the best of
Yeah.
my ability.
Yeah.
So, in this moment, it's white women to black women. So I would say I would listen to black women and their advice to me. So I'm glad that you presented me with how you view an ally.
Yeah.
And then anything from just from having your back to supporting your business to sharing your video to throwing in a friendly comment, to speaking up when things are clearly happening that are wrong. not
Yes.
just
Yeah.
not just being the hype girl, but being being there for the fight too. So
Yeah. Perfect. I mean,
that's
perfect,
what I
Libby.
try to do, and I'm always willing to learn better ways. So my ears are open. If there's a viewer who's like XYZ, this is what I would like to see. Please let me know, and I will spread the word, and I will continue to help more of us understand how we can be the ally and not just say we're the ally.
Yeah, yeah, that was perfect. I don't know how we were able to ask. You were thinking that, and I was thinking the same thing. As
Yes.
because it's so important that we do have allies. We just can't
Yeah.
do any of this alone. We can't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people. We can't.
Yeah.
you know. So we do have to bring other people on board. But when you do
Yeah.
come on board, just stick with us. Just stay with us. Because that's
Hmm.
how change really happens, don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to be willing to learn and grow, and some of that comes through confrontation and being
Yeah.
uncomfortable, and
Right.
so
Okay. All righty. So next one now. Are we on to dessert already?
I think we're to dessert. I
Okay.
think
Now,
we
now,
are
wait a
cruising through
minute.
this meal.
Now, the desserts, do they get a little messy, or is this to just kind of bring it down a little bit? Because I think we actually had some easy questions with that ally question.
We did. I know we got to spice it up a little bit. Hopefully, I think there's some interesting topics in the dessert pile from what I
Yeah.
remember. I tried
Okay.
to,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
All righty.
spread
So
out
here
the
I
fun.
go. Here I go. All right. I'm mixing. I'm mixing up. I think I'm going to choose from the left side this time. Okay,
All
Libby?
right, feeling
All
good.
righty. Let's see. Bam.
Bam.
Oh my God. How did I get this one? Okay, let's see here. So what are your thoughts on breastfeeding versus formula?
I'm
Okay.
dying to know.
Okay. All righty. This is just this is easy for me because
Okay.
um I had my twins. I had my twins when I was 17. Okay.
Okay.
All righty. So, and then I had my son when I was 32. So I kind of, with my daughters, I was thinking, okay, I know I'm not breastfeeding. I don't know enough about it. I'm just gonna, buy formula and be done with it. Okay.
Yeah.
So then I started doing my research on the benefits of breastfeeding. I see, just still, by the time I had little Aaron, I was still not comfortable with breastfeeding. And
Sure.
so I actually, just use formula with him as well.
Yeah.
Now, today, the Brenda Hampton, who is in her 50s, if I could do it all over again, I
Yeah.
probably would breastfeed from what I've
Yep.
learned from,
Yep.
with the formula. So it's just one of those things for me. That would be my preference today. But honey, it's
Yeah.
too late for me now. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the
Things are
kids
always
are okay.
changing.
They're fine. But just when you really do your research on it and you look up all the benefits of breastfeeding, um,
Hmm.
you kind of just really want to look into that to say, is this for me?
Yeah.
And I think it is for me. I just kudos to the women who actually do it. And I know
Yeah.
there's some criticism that comes with it, like where do when you're out in public and this and that. And I just say to myself, honey, listen, my baby is hungry. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
don't care
Exactly.
where I'm
Right.
at. Forget y'all. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I am going to feed my baby. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. So either way,
Absolutely.
I guess, it's just the woman's choice on what she feels comfortable with doing. But I will say, well, I'll just end on this again. Research it and see why the breastfeeding does make more sense than the
Yeah.
formulas. Yeah.
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 Yeah. That was a good question. I liked your answer.
Yeah, it was. It's the best I got. I mean, did you breastfeed, Libby?
I tried to with all three of my kids. I was never able to produce very well. And
Okay.
so with my first, we had the home health visit, I don't know, maybe a week after she was born, and I had been trying to exclusively breastfeed, and she just was not gaining the weight that she should be. And so they suggested that we supplement. And, as you supplement, it tends to not help your milk production. But I was too frustrated and resentful of the process. And I just I finally let it go because I was like, I am resenting the time with my first baby, with my daughter. This is not bonding for me. It's not bonding for her. And that's part of what it's
Mhm.
supposed to be. And so I'm like, I'm
Right.
not getting out of it what I'm supposed to.
Gotcha.
And there are other means for me to get nutrition to her. And I'm going to be able to bond with my baby and appreciate our time together more than I would be if I just kept forcing this thing that doesn't seem to be working.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that was kind of my experience with all three of my kids. I wanted to try every time. I was like, I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to exclusively
Yeah.
breastfeed. But then with my second two, I had a postpartum hemorrhage pretty significantly. And so I was anemic and, just I was in a state of sort of sickliness during the
Hmm.
early days of their life that, again, I underdeveloped and they needed to be supplemented. So it just became this cycle again. But I will always maintain that formula should be available to those who need it.
Yes.
Well, also, I just kind of dislike the formula industry because I think they've pushed their agenda too hard for the sake of capitalism, and
Of
it's
course.
come at the expense of children, both in our country and abroad, and that angers me so much.
Yeah.
So I like that formula is an available option to anybody who needs it, but I, if we could make our society so that women could breastfeed exclusively, I would like to see that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Me too.
Bleh.
Yeah.
Anyway, that wasn't even my question. You got too much of an answer from me on that. All right, here we go. Dessert, dessert, dessert. Let's go right here. Are you offended by people who don't stand for the anthem? This is
Ooh.
a good one and probably pretty timely, what with the Super Bowl coming up, because that tends to be a place that people will choose to stand or not stand, right?
Yeah.
In protest. I am not offended at all if people don't stand. I think, from my perspective, there is way too much emphasis placed on the national anthem in this country. It feels more and more like propaganda in an icky way, especially when people start to use it against other people. Like you're okay with somebody standing in line for a beer during the national anthem, but you're going to get mad about a player peacefully drawing attention to police brutality. Like,
Yeah.
no, like I'm
Yeah.
not. I don't. I just don't get. It feels so hypocritical to be offended about people standing or not standing. You can listen to it if you want, and it's an excuse to hear somebody sing it nicely. But to me, it's nothing more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. I have, that's me too. I'm right there with you. I am one who, I'm one who don't stand. I don't
Yeah.
stand at all. And, I made this decision. It's my decision.
Yeah.
I made the decision. I get the dirty looks when we're at events, and the most embarrassing thing is though, Libby, is like when I'm at my granddaughter, some of her events that, they have you stand for the anthem at school. And sometimes I can see everybody looking at me. I feel bad that I'm sitting,
Mm-hmm.
or that, but it's just my own personal reasons that
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have to explain it to anybody. I'm not going to sit up here and
No.
shout it to you and tell you why I don't want to stand. You're not going to, feel for me anyway or understand
Yeah.
why I feel this way. But yeah, I just can't do it. Not at this time. Maybe one day I'll get back to it, but
Yeah.
I'm just not there right now, you know. But
Completely
yeah, but
understand.
I'm glad you're not offended by that,
Oh God, no.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people who are, you know.
I really wish they'd just stop making it a part of things. It's just not necessary. And if
Yeah,
they are going to insist that it's a part of these events like the Super Bowl or what have you, then it's going to be an outlet for people to protest peacefully.
yeah.
And you can't say that's not allowed because that's a violation of our First Amendment. So
Yeah, yeah, right. You can't say it. We can't pick and choose. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? We try to pick and
yeah,
choose, and we just can't do that. It's so unfair to do that. I was a big fan of Kaepernick. When he did it years ago, I was just all team Kaepernick. Do you know to this
yeah.
day? And I'm gonna tell you, I was a huge, huge football fan. To this day, I still do not watch football. I don't do it you know
That is
and
hilarious, actually, because my dad is the same way. He used to call
hmm
himself like a fantasy football Jedi master, and he would like watch all the games and the statistics. And literally, because of how the NFL handled the Colin
yeah.
Kaepernick thing, he's like, I'm not giving them any more of my attention.
Yeah, and I'm
Oh,
I'm like the only one in my family now who's sticking to it.
yeah.
They're gonna kill me for saying this,
Brenda doesn't
but
forget.
yeah, I'm sticking to it. And then they always calling me like, "Hey, did you see that? Did you see?" I'm like, "Y'all listen, y'all know I do not watch the games. Have fun." And then I might call them and say, "Well, who's going to the Super Bowl?" So it's kind of
Yeah,
funny because they're like, "You didn't watch?" No, as you know, I didn't watch it. I don't know, and to be honest, I don't care.
yeah, right. You
Yeah,
only have so much attention span and interest levels, and it's just like pick what you want to care about. You don't have to care about everything.
yeah, yeah, yep.
That's oh. We ate our meal. We asked our questions. Now the special game at the end. What did we decide to call this? What's the buzz or BuzzFeed? Not can't do BuzzFeed, but anyway, the premise of this next segment is we are gonna just sort of scroll through our phones, and then if we find something buzzworthy, worthy of discussion, we will talk about it quick. So we're going to hit some real-time topics. We're going to hit what's popular on TikTok right now because that's what I'm on. Maybe I'll check out Blue Sky, but hopefully we'll cover just a few more relevant things before we wrap it up today. So
Yep. Okay. You ready, Libby?
roll
Okay.
away.
You're gonna have to buzz me. I'll signal and say, "Oh, buzz me when I find what I want to talk about."
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll pay attention to it. I'll buzz it for you.
Okay. Let's go.
I got something for you. All
Okay.
right.
All right.
Tell me
What you
if this has come across your feed yet. So I got a video by Dr. Barlow. And this is a whole thing now. Dr. Barlow started it. I'll be sure to tag her account. But it's this thing on TikTok called like Hillman Talk University, I think is what they call it. Have you seen this
Yes.
yet?
Yes, I've seen it, but I haven't had time. I haven't had a chance to really get into it. What have you learned about it?
So I love it. Dr. Barlow, she is teaching a course called Intro to African American Studies. And she, in her very first TikTok, sort of gets on and addresses her students. And she was addressing an actual group of 35 students that she's teaching in a college somewhere. I forget where she actually teaches. But somebody else on TikTok thought it was like a bit and that it was a class for people on TikTok. And
Uh-huh.
so she shared it and it blew up. It blew up. It was all over. And Dr. Barlow gained like 500,000 followers of people who were
What?
interested in taking her Intro to African American Studies, like genuinely interested in this. And then from there, a bunch of other, I've seen exclusively Black creators doing this, but men and women who are experts in their various fields, some are actual professors and teachers, and some aren't. They're just, sharing their knowledge. But they're creating all these online courses for people to take and participate in and learn in a
Wow.
free setting. And it's incredible. It's incredible how this has taken off in like 2 weeks.
Really?
So
Okay,
there's,
I heard something about it. I definitely got to do my research on this tip on this, Libby, because
yeah,
I mean, this is in my lane. So I love it. I love it when we can have that kind of impact.
yeah.
I just forgive me for not really digging into this sooner.
There is
Oh
so
my
much out there.
God.
This is why I wanted to do this because I know we see different stuff on our feeds, and so I feel like it's
Yeah.
good to like. But yeah, I love it. But one of the things that I've sort of absorbed as part of this is that I need to be quiet. I need to zip my lips. I need to not be typing any comments. I need to not
Hmm.
be asking any questions. I need to be Googling stuff on my own and doing my homework before I say anything because this is not a space where I need to have a voice. This is a space where I can learn silently. Is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
feedback that I think I've seen from
Mhm.
people who are invested in making this something valuable.
Well,
But I am so excited about it.
what like the feedback from other people outside of Black people? How is it? Is it like, are they like, yeah, this is a great idea, or this is, why do you have to do this? What's the comments been like?
So I've seen mostly positive feedback. I've seen a lot of us being like, be on your best behavior, don't ruin this, don't get kicked out of class, kind of a thing.
Gotcha.
There are always, the loudmouth outliers who feel entitled to the space and they
Yeah.
ruin it for everybody.
Hmm.
Um, but I am hoping to not get kicked out of class and to be able to learn from this vast wealth of knowledge that we're fortunate to now have access to thanks to social media.
Oh wow. I definitely got to share this with Aaron. He loves stuff like that too. And I just want to maybe we'll sign up for one of the courses, me and you. We can do
Yeah,
it. We'll do it together. Let's do that.
that's perfect. Tell me what you're interested in. Somebody out there, and if I find the video, I'll send it to you, has made like a Google spreadsheet of all the
Uh-huh.
courses that are available. There's like 300 of them.
Oh wow.
It's so
Wow.
cool how this just took off into something so positive, that I
Yeah.
love seeing it. So I will, if I find the video where the person has the Google spreadsheet, I'll send it over and you find the class that you want to learn. There's like cooking and crocheting
Yeah.
and screenwriting was one of them, which I'm taking because I'm interested in that. But yeah, so fun. So
Well, yeah. Screenwriting girl, and you got the writer over here. I'm gonna help you with that.
yeah, I got to figure out what I want to write about, but
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, let's
all
scroll
right.
some more. Let's
That was a
see.
worthwhile scroll right there. Let's see
Yes,
what you
it
got on your end.
was. Make sure we put the information, Libby, and
Yes.
share it with everybody because I want everybody to know about that for sure.
I do too, and I hopefully
Yeah,
it's something that keeps up. So even if people are late to join in class, they can do some extra credit work or something.
yeah, perfect. Okay, let me go. Okay,
What you got?
okay, I promise I'll have my buzzer next time. Okay,
Can't trust
but
Amazon these days.
But yeah, okay. So I keep coming across in my feed. I have a lot of people weighing in on this boycott.
Oh
The
yeah,
boycott stuff with Target, Amazon, all of the people who have done away with their DEI programs and stuff like that. So they're talking about Tabitha. Tabitha Brown. She has a lot of her products and stuff in Target and Walmart. Have you ever seen any of her products or anything like that?
it sounds familiar. I got to refresh my memory. I'll check her out after
Yeah.
this. But yeah, I feel like I've seen her products.
Yeah. Yeah, she's such a sweetheart. She really is. So when she put her video out, she's kind of like really encouraging Black people especially to continue to support her brand. Like if you're going to go to
Yeah,
Target, just please continue to support my brand.
yeah,
Because that way it doesn't give Target a chance to say, hey, your brand is not selling well, it's not doing anything, and then they just boot her along with all of the other Black,
exactly.
merchandise. They boot it out of the store and then say, hey, it's
Right.
out because it didn't do well. So she's asking people to continue to support. And
Yeah.
this is a tough one for me. And I see with a lot of other people as well, because I think that we are in no position right now, Libby, to pick and choose.
Yeah.
We have to go hard, and we have to go against these people with serious intentions of saying, no, we're not
Yeah.
interested in entering your store, buying anything. Um, I think Tabitha, and along with some of the other business owners, they have contracts, and I understand that. I know about that all too well. They have contracts with these business, with Target and stuff like that, and so they
Yeah.
just can't pull their brands out of
Yeah.
there.
It's not easy.
But man, this is just it puts them in a bad space.
Yeah.
But I think to ask people with all that's going on and how they've just basically said, screw us. And I'm being nice when I say screw us,
Yeah.
I think just asking people to continue to shop there is just, it's not a good thing to do.
Yeah.
I won't be shopping there. I will wait. I'm sure Tabitha is going to do very well in the future, and I will continue to support her when her brand is out of these stores.
Yeah.
Maybe just as she's selling direct or anything. And I think it's going to come to that, and she's going to bounce back and do very well. But for now, I'm out, you know? Yeah.
I get that. I get that. I I have participated and continue to participate in various boycotts for various reasons. I refuse to go to Chick-fil-A. Um, I don't, where else don't I go? Hobby Lobby, I'm mad at. Jimmy John's,
Yes.
I used to love Jimmy John's, but I refuse to go there. And I get disheartened with it because it feels like recycling where
Yeah.
the onus is being put on us as individuals when that's not where it should
It
be.
should be. Yep.
It
Yeah,
should be
exactly.
it should be at the corporate level. There
It
needs to
should.
be there these programs were put in place for a reason. There should be regulation because of all that is about bottom dollar. People are not going to make the right decisions, and that's
Yeah.
unfortunate. But
Yeah. Well, a lot of people
it's such a
saying,
frustrating space.
they're being forced to do this, and maybe so. I don't, that's okay. If that's it, then that's fine. Then you should know what's going to
Yeah,
happen if you go along with what the Trump administration wants you to do.
yeah,
This is what's going to happen. I'm so reluctant to go out and say, oh, yeah, go support like Costco, go support Aldi, because it's like we did the same thing in December with Target saying, well, go
I know,
support
right?
Target. And then
Ugh,
they just slapped us in the face. And it's so disheartening. It really is.
yeah,
So yeah. So, and I know people they always talking about, I've been hearing a lot of people talking about, well, we have, selective outrage,
mm,
yeah, we're going to keep eating at Chick-fil-A, or we're going to keep going to Hobby Lobby, but then we don't want to go to Target. But I think my answer to that is just, we have to tackle this, just a few at a time.
yeah,
We really do. We cannot go all in. That's just
yeah,
impossible. So when you just hear that, yeah, there's a boycott with just a few, let's just get on board and just do
yeah,
this, and just really make a difference here, and just try to let these companies know you just cannot do this to people. You just can't.
yeah, yeah,
And if you do, we're going to fight against this, and we're going to, we're really going to fight hard, and we're going to hurt your bottom line. We really
yeah.
are. Yeah.
They have put the power in the dollar, and when people have less and less to spend, then they're going to be more choosy about where they spend their money. And if you're giving them a
Absolutely.
reason not to shop there, bottom line's
Absolutely.
going to hurt. Bottom line's going
Yeah.
to hurt. I hope
Yeah.
anyway. So we're wrapping this up. We had good conversations with our appetizer, our main meal, our dessert. And I think we actually had some very good discussions around commonality. I loved when we talked about what it meant to be an ally.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
that
that
was
felt
big.
like perfection that we both got that
It
question.
is. Now, how did we choose that out of all of the questions? That was just, I guess it was meant to be, Libby.
It was meant to be for today. I
Yeah,
think it'd be exciting to get some guests on here.
you too.
We're going to put this on YouTube, and if anybody watching is interested in being a guest, we would love to have you on. If you have any ideas for questions, shoot us a message, leave a comment, let us know what you're interested in hearing about, and we will pick it up and discuss it on Kitchen Table Talk. Lost my
Yeah.
train of thought there, but
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm ready. I'm ready. So bring the questions on. I promise you we won't be offended, right, Libby? We're not going to be offended. So
no,
ask us anything. Ask us anything. Yeah.
cards are on the table, and we're here to learn, and we're here to unite. That's, I think, the
Yeah.
biggest thing we want to do here is continue to find unity and have fun.
That's right. All right, blue bracelet sister.
Blue bracelets. Thank you for
Yes.
talking to me today, Brenda. I love it so
Yeah.
much.
See you soon. See you soon. Bye, sweetie.
Perfect.
Bye bye.